looking at the stories that have made headlines in the Sunday newspapers. And as always, we'll start with the Sunday Times, who are leading with a story that has to do with SABC Jonas, if we can just pull it up for you quickly. It's a story that talks about President Cyril Ramaphosa's special envoy in the process of trying to mend relations with the United States. There you have it. Jonas speaks out over lies, dirty tricks, says the headline there. And just in summary of what the story covers is comments attributed to SABC Jonas as special envoy of President Cyril Ramaphosa that alleges that there are certain forces, groupings, entities within the country that are driving an agenda that I think he at some point describes it as treasonous, that seeks to cast South Africa as a pariah state on the international stage. He calls them non-state actors who have appointed themselves as spokespeople and negotiators on behalf of South Africa to service certain political and business interests and are attempting to usurp authority over foreign policy. So that is the main story that you will see on the Sunday Times this afternoon. Of course, it comes off the back of recent developments that included the withdrawal and resignation and removal of the former DA International Relations spokesperson, Emma Powell, who was, I think, at some point at the forefront of reports about whether or not Jonas was being welcomed in the United States as envoy for President Cyril Ramaphosa. So that is the main story that the Sunday Times is leading with. But if you buy your Sunday Times, you will find other stories as well, which I thought I should just flag for you quickly. There's one about a damning report on SA Tourism CEO that we're told has surfaced. That's also on the front page, a story by Kaifas Khosana, the journalist there at Sunday Times. It talks about a report that they say it has findings made by the previous board of SA Tourism, which concluded that the recently suspended CEO Nombulelo Guliwe was, in the words of that report, grossly unsuitable for the job. You will know that the suspended CEO is partly at the heart of difference of opinion, let's call it that, between the Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille, and the board that she has now dissolved. That story not going away at all. And then to the right of the paper, you will see they are reporting on Minister Butima Namela and the pressure that he is under around the appointment of certain administrators for the seaters, various seaters that have been placed under administration. So that's what the Sunday Times will be looking like when you get your copy this afternoon. Let me take you to the Sunday Tribune, and the story that they are leading with is really a recap of the hearings that were undertaken in the Constitutional Court last week about the banks and the allegations of rigging and fixing and manipulation, really, of the rand-dollar exchange rate. Those allegations emanating from 2007 to about 2013. The case was argued extensively by various legal counsels, some representing the Competition Commission on the one hand, and others representing the various banks that are implicated in that conspiracy. So what the Sunday Tribune is really doing there is recapping the arguments and then just flagging that the issue now goes to the Constitutional Court for it to decide. At the heart of it is exceptions and basically arguments that the Competition Tribunal has no authority to continue with pursuing the case against these various banks. And there was a finding of the Competition Appeals Court, which is what the Competition Commission is now seeking to overturn with the authority of the Constitutional Court. It's a story we covered at length yesterday in the Week in Review. So that's the one story that's leading there. Then you will see also on the front page of the Sunday Tribune, they have a story about what they are calling a legal battle that they are saying is brewing over Hajj operations in South Africa. And it's a story by Tashika Pillay. If I quickly just refer to it, a legal confrontation is brewing between the South African Hajj and Umrah Council and the Sunni Jamiatul Ulama over Hajj operations in the country. The SJU, a founding member of the SAUHC and a body of theologians, has claimed that the South African Hajj and Umrah Council wanted to monopolize the Hajj sector, undermining the rights of pilgrims and violating constitutional and competition law. That is a claim that the Hajj and Umrah Council are obviously denying. So those are some of the stories you will find on the front page of the Sunday Tribune out of KwaZulu-Natal. Lastly, let me take you to the Sunday World, and I like what they did with their headlines. It's flipping the script, quite literally. They took the story that is at the back page of the newspaper and put it as the front page headline. It's a story that has to do with a dispute that's brewing between Kaizer Chiefs and Sekhukhune United over the player Yusuf Mart, who Chiefs acquired from Sekhukhune and have now sold on to a club in Austria, right? So that story in summary, and you may want to read it. It's fascinating. It's the business of football playing itself out, in that particular dispute. The story goes that there was an agreement when Chiefs signed Mart from Sekhukhune that if they were to sell him on to another team, Sekhukhune would be entitled to a percentage, and I think the story says it's about 20%. Now that Chiefs have sold Mart to, let me read this, it's a Sportvereniging, I think it's how it's pronounced, Sportvereniging Ried, and that's a team from Austria. And Sekhukhune is saying, show us the money. You have sold the player on while the contract was still valid, the initial contract, so we deserve a cut of that. So that is the story that you will find. It makes for fascinating reading. Also dominating on the front page of the Sunday World, a political story that suggests that two of the people that are considered at this early stage to be possible contenders for the leadership positions in the ANC, Paul Mashatile, the deputy president of the party, and Fikile Mbalula, its secretary general. According to the reporting of Mawande Amashabalala at Sunday World, there seems to be some talks between the two to try and forge some kind of a unity slate and ensure that they don't contest each other come the conference, the elective conference of the ANC in 2027. So there you have it. That's just a flavor and a sampling of some of the stories that are dominating the headlines in your Sunday newspapers. There's lots more, of course, that is covered there. So you will see when you get your paper some of the stories that have been